The defending champions may have kicked off in the financial capital, but they now seek liftoff in the national capital. India had their scares against the US. They now get their second game of this campaign, where they seek to defy history when they take on Namibia at the Firozshah Kotla in Delhi. Welcome to ESPN Cricket 4 Timeout, where we have the company of Cheteshwar Pujara for the first time this World Cup, and the man whose name we all remember, Carlos Brathwaite. So good to have you in our studios for the first time, Carlos.
Pleasure.
I'm sure the references would have, there might have been one or two references to that game last night at the Wankhede.
A little bit, a few. Nostalgia, reminiscent of Chris Gale's 100 in the first group game in 2016. So hopefully it's a good omen for bigger and better things to come for the class of 2026.
And it must be a very pleasing result, the way West Indies performed against England last night.
Yeah, I think the performance is even better than the result, to be fair. A lot of things that we were worried about with the West Indies, the maturity with batting, can they get big scores, and then more importantly, can the bowlers win the West Indies a game? And I don't know how much times you've ever said this in the past, but spin to win for the West Indies, that was a treat to watch.
Yeah, so good from Moti, excellent from Roston Chase. Puji, good to have you in our studios for the first time this World Cup. What have you made of this opening week of the World Cup so far?
Well, it's been a fantastic tournament so far, and the kind of games we saw yesterday. I think the game of South Africa and Afghanistan, that was some game actually. It's probably one of the best games I've watched in a T20 World Cup. Very rarely you see a couple of super overs, and even the game of England and West Indies. So overall, I think this World Cup, it has been fantastic World Cup. Even some of the lesser known teams, some teams like USA, Nepal, they have been quite competitive as well. So you can't take any team lightly, and that is what this format demands. I think you need to be on your toes in each and every game, and you need to respect your opposition in the shorter format.
Yeah, and already on day 6 we've had a piece of history. There was a first-time winner at a men's T20 World Cup guaranteed when Nepal and Italy met at the Wankhede, and it's led to a win for Italy, and a 10-wicket win at that. The first time the Italians have a win in what is only their second game at any Cricket World Cup. We'll touch up on that game shortly too. But Carlos, when you look at the conversations around this World Cup, and so much has been about how batting ceilings have exploded in the last couple of years, how India have shifted the needle, how Australia and England score at these 10s, 6 hitting is such a big thing. Do you and your batch of 2016 often sit back and think, hang on, we were doing this 10 years ago?
Yeah, I've seen the number 300 more times in this World Cup than I think I've ever seen in my life. But I think we were, I don't want to say pioneers, but we saw that style of play as the one that suited us best. I think the teams in modern day cricket are slightly better than us. I think they're a little bit better than us between 7 and 15. So we rule the roost in the power play with your Chris Gales, Johnson, Charles, Fletcher, and then at the back end, Pollard, Russell, Bravo, etc. And between 7 to 15, we almost just wanted to stitch those two portions together. I feel like now it's just a 20 over power play, and there's a big difference between then and now.
Quite the modest man. He referred to himself as etc. Etc. happened to hit 4 sixes to win a World Cup final 10 years ago. But he brings up 300, does Carlos, which was part of pretty much the entire branding in the first week before India played their opening game. And USA, there was a time when it looked like India won't even get to 150. What do you think would the conversations have been in the Indian camp after that early stutter in that game?
Well, they'll be watchful, without any doubt. There were some concern in that game. The good part is it came at the right time. It was first game of the tournament. The result was also on a positive side. So despite losing too many wickets, there was someone like Surya Kumar Yadav, Akshar Patel. Both of them had a very good partnership in that particular game. So there are more positives for the Indian team overall, apart from that particular game. So they will be having a chat about what has gone right in the recent past, because if you look at India's recent T20 series, all the batters have been batting exceptionally well, and there have been multiple games where they've scored more than 220. There was one game where India reached 260. So the batters have been in form. I don't think there's a lot of concern. Only thing they will have to be little watchful is it's not just today's game, but the game against Pakistan on 15th, and that will be that pitch will be on the slower side. So how does Indian batters play well against spinners? How do they, if the pitch becomes like Wankhede pitch, I mean at Delhi it will be a good pitch to bat on, but they will have to prepare for a slow pitch, and that is a bit of a concern, and that will be the chat in the dressing room, because the bowlers are bowling well. It's the batters, when they have to play on a slow pitch, how do they plan their innings?
Yes, that is one of the bigger storylines for this week in the World Cup, that India do know now that there will be a game on Sunday. They will travel to Sri Lanka after this game against Namibia, and they'll play Pakistan at the Premadasa Stadium on the 15th. But for the time being, India's batters are going to get a second shot at doing what you came to expect them to do in game one, because Namibia have won the toss in Delhi and they've opted to field first, which means a chance for India to bat. We do often feel that associates, when they play the safer template to try and trip over the bigger teams, is bat first, put a total. But if you are Namibia, are you fine bowling first?
Yeah, I think to a night game, you bat first or bat last, there's potentially dew, so you get the easier part of the pitch to bat on. And then from a big team, small team, without due respect to both teams' standpoint, if I'm the underdog and you watch the USA did what they did to India a couple days ago, you have to think, if we can get into this position and take that cotton ball chance that comes our way, and Surya Kumar doesn't get 84, can we then back ourselves to chase, as you mentioned, 140, 150? And I think that is more of a palatable proposition than having to score 200 and then defend it against this powerhouse lineup.
Yeah. From an Indian lens, they come to a venue which in the last couple of years has actually been among the fastest scoring venues in the country, Puji. We've seen in the IPL, the scores have been touching 250. Of the 5 Indian venues at this World Cup, it is the highest scoring. So would India take batting first? Do you think that's something they would have liked to do anyway?
Yeah, even I thought if they would have won the toss, they would have done the same, because you want your batting to be tested, and when you're batting first against Namibia, you know that you have enough time, your batters will have enough time, because if India was bowling first, they could bowl Namibia out for 120, 130, you never know. I mean, they can bat well and they can still post 160, 170, but ideally when you are batting first, you have all the batters put under pressure to go about 200. I think the ideal score for the Indian team on this particular pitch will be to get to 220, 230, because it's a small boundary, very pitch, there's some grass on it. We have seen that there's not much turn on that pitch, so there'll be a chat in the dressing room that what will be the ideal score, and can the batters take the team to 220, 230 against Namibia? I think it's more likely, but we'll have to wait and watch how the pitch behaves.
Yeah, I can tell you that at the toss, the Indian captain Surya Kumar Yadav did say that dew is going to be a big factor in this tournament, and defending with dew around, which we come to expect in Delhi at this time of the year, is something that will build our confidence. We're just waiting on team news, but can tell you that Surya Kumar Yadav has said that Abhishek Sharma is not featuring, and he might take 1 or 2 more games. Let's take you through India's lineup. Abhishek's pain in this case directly means Sanju Samson's gain. He gets a game at the top of the order along with Ishan Kishan, but there is a return, of course, for Jasprit Bumrah. He was unavailable for the last game, but he is back. He slots in place of Mohammad Siraj, who did a job at Wankhede. Abhishek Sharma not being around, and not just for this game, with the captain hinting that it might be a game or 2, that does things to India's World Cup plans.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a worry, because if he's not available for the game against Pakistan, and someone like Abhishek is one of India's best batter in this T20 lineup, so they will be definitely missing him. But at the same time, it's a big opportunity for someone like Sanju Samson. He has a lot of potential in this particular format, and his results in the T20 International hasn't been great, but this is the perfect time for him to showcase that he's capable enough for the Indian team, because in the IPL his record is phenomenal, but can he do the same thing for the Indian team? And this is the perfect platform for him to go out there, strike a few balls, try and get to 50 if he can in say 20-30 balls, and that will give him a lot of confidence for the next game if Abhishek is not fit for the next one. But I'm little surprised with the team selection, because I was thinking that India might keep the next game in mind, and they might have another spinner instead of Arshdeep. They might bring in someone like Kuldeep, try and test him out in these conditions, because he will be either Kuldeep or Washington is likely to play the next game instead of Arshdeep. That's what I guess when the Indian team goes to Colombo, when they play on 15th, I think they'll have to drop one of the seamers, and that is likely to be Arshdeep. But we'll have to wait and watch.
Your thoughts on the team composition? Would you think the same way?
I think Arshdeep swinging the ball, left arm option, and there's a little bit of solidity as well. Jasprit comes back, and you don't want to have a situation where Arshdeep plays one, Jasprit plays one, Arshdeep plays one. They're looking for a little bit of continuity. And with all due respect to Namibia, they think they probably can get away with it. But like you say, when you then go and play Pakistan, do you have to insist that an extra spinner is played? And I think in the subcontinent, if you got your skillful seam bowlers who can run the fingers alongside the ball and take the ball out to the hitting arc to the batsman, it actually works as well. So while Kuldeep is world class, if Arshdeep can use his left hand variation, it could be a weapon that many would not have, I guess, foreseen. So it could be like a secret weapon of sorts.
All right, but would you pick 3 spinners against Pakistan? Let's forget about this game, because this is the ideal playing 11 for this game. I do agree. But what would be your ideal playing 11 for the Indian team when they face Pakistan? Would you play 3 spinners?
Yeah, potentially. I could see a world where Arshdeep sits down and Kuldeep comes in. Massive square boundaries in Sri Lanka as well. So, you know, asking Pakistan to use a little bit more power than they're accustomed to. It's not the small ground at Delhi or Mumbai. So from a tactical perspective, it's quite plausible. I've seen Washington Sundar also be used, similar to Aksar Patel, where you know it's an extra set of batting as well. But if you're going offensive, you go Kuldeep, you'd have someone who can bowl you to victory in his 4 overs. If you're going slightly defensive and hedging your bets, Washington comes in.
If you thought you could be on for an India game the week ahead of an India-Pakistan game and there'll be no mention of India-Pakistan, Carlos, there you have it. But putting our attention back to this contest and the team combination, especially now that we have the knowledge from Surya Kumar Yadav that Abhishek Sharma could miss more than 1 or 2 games after this. Sanju Samson, how big a moment does this become for a batter who really had what would have been such a personally demoralizing series against New Zealand? Temperamentally as well as technically, what did you see there and what would you want him to change as he now becomes a part of India's World Cup?
His shot selection. I think he has a lot more time than what he thinks. I've also been seeing the way I had a look at some visuals of how he was practicing at Delhi. It looks like he's in good touch. He's preparing well. It's just that he will have to give himself little more time, and in this format what I mean is by little more time is just try and delay his shot for another 2 or 3 deliveries, where if he thinks that he needs to score a boundary, can he delay that by another over? Because just try and have his eye in, and once he is in, he's a dangerous player to stop, because even if he is say 10 in 8 or 9 balls, in next 10 deliveries he can be batting at 30 or 40. So it's just that first 10 deliveries are very crucial for him. If he can bat well in those first 10 deliveries, even if he doesn't get too many runs, after that he can be a match winner.
But I wonder how much of it is mental, because you look at someone like Sanju, and I've had the pleasure and privilege of playing with him, beautiful human being, but you can also sense that he's someone that wants to do well so badly that he almost gets tense. So he's found a way in IPL, he's found a rhythm in IPL. I don't think he's quite found our rhythm yet in international cricket, whether that's because he doesn't feel like he gets the backing enough, so he always playing for his play type of thing. But I just look at some of Sanju's best innings, and it's with a free mind, a clear mind. He goes out, he watches ball, he hits ball. I think when he goes out to play and it's just before a tournament or in a tournament, he's so tense, he almost already pre-plans how his innings is supposed to go. And at this level, you can't pre-plan shots or innings. You just need to watch the ball and be able to play. I like to see him just push the handbrake down and just bat. If a half volley comes along first ball, crash it as scrumptiously as he does through the offside for 4 and enjoy yourself. It looks as though he's burdened, and then you watch someone like Ishan Kishan who just comes out and just flays it all around, and that is why he's a little bit more successful in my opinion at international level, because he just allows himself to react. Sanju looks like he's a little bit tense. I don't know if you agree with
No, I completely agree with what you're mentioning, and that makes a lot of difference, because when you are mentally free, when you are not worried about your place in the playing 11, it makes a huge difference from a player's mindset. So I do agree that he has to be a little more relaxed, try and play his natural game, which he hasn't been able to do. And the reason behind it is that he's trying to play for his spot. He's trying to prove that he belongs there, but he actually belongs there. It's just about having enough backing for him that you just go out there, try and express yourself. Even if you fail for a couple of games, you are there. And even if he doesn't get to play when Abhishek comes in, I mean, even if he scores a 50 and when Abhishek is fit, he might still not be part of the playing 11. That's fine, but as long as he's part of the playing 11, he should be fearless.
Yeah.
How do you train a batter temperamentally for this sort of position?
I think the advice from the team management becomes very important because once they have a chat with Sanju, that he needs to be told that don't worry about the results, because there are times where players are focused on the result. You can't focus on the result. If you are focused on your process, if you are focusing on what brings the best out of you, try and play to your strength rather than worrying about what can happen in a particular game. Because when you are representing the Indian team, there is a lot of pressure, there is a lot of expectation. Can you keep that noise outside from your mind? Because when you carry a lot of baggage in your mind, it becomes very challenging for the player. So that's why he needs to be told that just try and be yourself, try and play your natural game, don't worry about the outcome. Even if the outcome is not positive, the team management should be telling him that we are there for you, we are backing you, you are part of this team, you will remain part of this team. Whenever you get an opportunity, just try and be yourself.
Right. Over then to Sanju Samson, both captains saying at the toss that it looks like a flat pitch, it has the makings of a belter, so perhaps this is just the tonic Sanju Samson needs to kick on. He will walk out to bat, of course, in what is quite incredible storyline with Ishan Kishan, the man who entered the squad at the start of the New Zealand series. You would have thought Kishan is the one who will be on the bench, and now Kishan is the one who's opening, and it's been some serious uptick for Ishan Kishan, the way he's managed to break back into this Indian side on the back of what was an exemplary Syed Mushtaq Ali season. And if we go through Ishan Kishan in the last few years, he had his struggles, he had his troubles through 23-24, but if you look at what's happened for Ishan Kishan since 2025, it's an exemplary uptick. He was one of the biggest six hitters in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, Puji. He also showed that in the series he played against New Zealand. What have you observed in Kishan's game compared to what you were seeing, say, last year or last to last year?
Well, the setbacks in his life, in his cricketing journey, has helped him become a bit more matured. He realizes the importance of being part of the Indian team because he was left out of the Indian team for multiple reasons. I thought he should have been managed well because he's an exceptional talent, which was, I mean, someone like him wasn't part of the Indian team in recent times, which was a big setback for him. But he has learned his lessons. That's the biggest positive, and that's why he ended up playing first-class cricket. He ended up playing the domestic T20 tournament where he was the highest run scorer. The way he was playing even in those games was a treat to watch. So he has worked on his game. He has improved a lot, and the IPL experience has definitely helped him. Not to forget that he is part of the IPL and he has been batting well in that, but not being part of the Indian team has actually done wonders to his game. And if he can be managed well now, I think he will be a great asset going forward, because now there shouldn't be a time where he should be left out of this Indian T20 squad particularly.
What stands out to you, Carlos, about Kishan's six hitting? Because he's not the biggest guy around. When he hits them, they travel.
I think clarity of thought seems very clear. You hardly ever see him premeditate a shot, and as a result, I mean, the term 360 is banded about a lot more now, but you always feel as though he can access any part of the ground because he just watches, waits and reacts. Yeah. The other thing I'd say is, when you look at that graph with scores, it was 750s, 0-100s, 450s, 400s. I feel as though when a batter, and we're talking to Mr. Centurion here, I think when a batter can get to milestones and consistently cross them, it produces a level of confidence that allows you to then go on and do it again and again, because scoring a century is not just about hitting 25 balls for 4. There will be a period between 30 and 50 where you might need to consolidate. There might be a period between 60 and 70, 70 and 80, etc., where you may lose a wicket or it might be a good over. When you can ride those periods and go up and down through the gears, it shows that your batsmanship has reached a certain level. So along with the flair and the power play, he's also added a little bit of maturity, which has now meant that he's had 8 50-plus scores, but 4 centuries as opposed to 0 pre-2025.
That maturity becomes an important component of the next week or two in the competition for India, especially if Abhishek Sharma were to be missing out.
Yep, and also one thing I forgot to mention about Ishan Kishan is he has the ability to play the same ball on the offside and on the leg side as well. Because as you were mentioning, he makes that late decision, he watches the ball, he waits for it, and if he sees that he can manipulate the gap on the offside, then he will go on the offside. But if he sees there is more gap on the leg side, he can convert the same delivery on the leg side as well. So that is something which not many batters can do that, and in a T20 format, most of the batters are either strong on the onside or the offside, but someone like him, he has the ability to play the same ball on both sides. But yeah, talking about him for the Indian team going forward, I think he will become an important part, because in next couple of weeks, how he performs will also put less pressure on someone like Surya, Tilak, and the guys who are batting in the middle order. So if he clicks in the top order, it will ease out things for the India's middle order.
Right. Ishan Kishan, Sanju Samson. Contrasting storylines, compelling storylines. Can't wait for them to get started in this game against Namibia. Let's see how Namibia are lining up for what is their second game. They also played their opener at the same venue against Netherlands, and 2 changes to the side that was comprehensively beaten. Out goes Myberg, the leg spin option has been removed. Dylan Leiker, the middle order batting all-rounder, is also out, and in come Ben Shikongo, so a more out-and-out seamer, and Malan Kruger in the middle. Carlos, thoughts?
Yeah, I think they're going pace heavy because of the success that pace had with the US versus India. I also feel as though I was there for their first game, actually, Namibia, Netherlands, and the spin didn't make the mark that you felt the spinners should have made.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they're going back now to the tried and tested. I think that was Maybach's debut game. So they're going back to what they know. It's a big clash, tried and tested versus what you can potentially get with the spin. We're going with what we know with Shongo.
So who to you would be the key bowlers in that mix to try and keep India down?
So Trumpelman with a new ball, you're talking early wickets. India is a team that if they're 2 or 3 down in 10 overs, the last 10 overs could easily go for 120, 130. So you need to get early wickets like the USA did. Trumpelman will be key to that. I think Arad Erasmus as skipper, his leadership is going to be very important. It is a game that you cannot make a mistake with bowling changes, fielding positions. There may be a guy that goes 2 overs for 10 runs. You have to make that decision. Do we have to pull him out and don't do that 3 in a row? Batters line him up. Or do I give him another one because I sense he can get a wicket? Those little matchups, those little decisions as skipper, leading the pack is going to be very important. So as much as it is needing to bowl well, I think the thinking and the planning also has to be top notch.
Also their fielding. I think some of the teams who hasn't fielded well has ended up conceding too many runs, because if you drop an important catch, the same batter has ended up scoring 70, 80, which can be a match defining knock. So I think Surya was also dropped against USA.
In fact, Namibia know through the 2 other associates in this group how costly drop catches can be. Netherlands with O'Dowd against Pakistan, Surya's catch dropped by the USA. Those catches are taken. We might be looking at an entirely different storyline in this group. But Namibia also entered this game with a sense of feeling slighted, because Captain Gerard Erasmus, when he addressed the media ahead of this game, spoke about them not getting a chance to train under lights. And this is what the Namibian captain had to say. We haven't been given night training before this game. I don't know why. I think India have 2 night trainings, and I see outside that Canada, who play here on Friday, are going to have a night training now. So make of that what you want. He did appear to be a bit disgruntled, continued to say we haven't got any lights in Namibia. Infrastructure wise, it's probably the challenge for us, barring the guys who played in the Nepal Premier League and some other leagues and World Cups. You don't get accustomed to lights and train under it very often. Becomes an important point out that ICC have responded to it. They said that teams had been given a window which was still around Jan 27, 28th to confirm which slots they would want for training, but that Namibia only placed this request as recently as Tuesday and they couldn't make any last minute adjustments. But Carlos, a lot of the viewers in parts of the world where we see cricket regularly will think, what's the fuss? But important to point out that associate teams, a lot of times, they don't have any experience of playing under lights.
100%. I was at the Nepal Premier League doing commentary and watching Nepal's first team beat the West Indies a month or so before that and being spellbound by their fielding efforts, and then to go to their ground, which was the first time that so many of those guys had played under lights, and the amount of catches that were shelled, it was remarkable. So that is a valid concern. They don't have lights locally, so it's not something that they're accustomed to.
Yeah.
And then when you come under pressure and you add the challenge of lights as well, it's going to be one where you might see one or two catches that should be taken and would be taken in the day. You mentioned a Max O'Dowd chance or the chance that the USA drop off. So Kumar Yadav, that loses you a game, that gets you out of a World Cup that you spent two years trying to get here for. So it is a valid concern.
Yeah, the ICC's response to it makes it seem as if it may have been an administrative error on Namibia's part, but one way or the other, you've got to feel for Namibia.
You do, because if you haven't trained enough, because the guys who have, from the Indian team's perspective, all the players have played enough cricket under light, so I don't think it will be a big concern for the Indian team. But from Namibia's point of view, I think it will have a lot of impact on their fielding today, and if you're not used to playing under lights, it can put you under a lot of pressure, not just while fielding, even while batting and bowling, because playing under lights is a bit of a challenge if you're not used to it. If you don't get enough training, if you don't practice enough under lights, you do find that bit different, bit odd. Also the experience of playing under lights, because there are important moments in the game where you know that either if you're chasing, you know that the dew comes in, the pitch becomes a little quicker because of the light, the ball comes on nicely. So where to pitch the ball, what areas to bowl in. I think under light and during, I mean, there's a big difference if you're playing a day game and a day-night game. So your length also changes a bit. I mean, I don't think it's a massive change, but there is a marginal change. And if you're not experienced enough, then you can be put under pressure.
Right. Task cut out for Namibia, but if they're seeking inspiration, they only need to look at the events that have transpired just about an hour back, because at the Wankhede, Italy, who were only playing their second ever game at any Cricket World Cup, now have a win at the Cricket World Cup, and what a commanding one at that. 10-wicket win, powered by their spinners in the first innings, and then a brilliant association between the Mosca brothers and the Chase. Carlos, what a fine story.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And we talked about the 20 World Cup bringing more eyeballs. I saw Christian Vieri, I'm a big football fan, saw Christian Vieri sending love and best wishes to the team. I saw the MotoGP boys from Italy sending love and best wishes. So we've almost now converted a football nation in a nation that's proficient in so many other sports, and I'm sure that their gaze would be on the Cricket World Cup from now on. So I really wanted Nepal to leave here with a victory. I hope they don't beat West Indies.
Good still.
But I'm really happy for the Italian story. The only thing that hurts my heart is that Joe Burns didn't get to experience it. He's been a big part of their journey. Wayne Madsen losing out through injury on the first day. So there are a couple parts of that journey that didn't get to witness it firsthand and be in the moment. But for Italy, for the Italian fans and for the players and staff, remarkable achievement.
Yeah, and it's a win, Puji, that's not come under against any other associate. Nepal, a few days back, were within one shot of defeating England.
Yeah, they were exceptional against England. But what they will have to learn is that each and every game is different. You need to be consistent enough when it comes to T20 format. You can't have a good day and a very bad day. So even on a very bad day, your performance has to be at par. And today I think Nepal wasn't there. So they will learn from this experience. But today I think they were below par. So they will have to lift their standard. They will have to maintain a certain standard. And that's when you can be part of the T20 World Cup, and even going forward for Nepal cricket, because not to forget about Nepal Premier League, which is very popular over there. It is progressing really well. We have seen that a lot of players are coming from there. So the cricket in Nepal is progressing really well, and that's why I think that their performance, the expectation is little more from them. And today wasn't the day, but hopefully they'll get better.
Yeah, Nepal will hope for more. Congratulations to Italy, though. They have a World Cup win earlier in the day. Sri Lanka, comprehensive winners against Oman after posting the highest total of the tournament so far. Score predictions: India versus Namibia. Is that high score going to be beaten? 225 is what Sri Lanka made against Oman.
Yeah, I think so. It should be, but I'm guessing somewhere around 220 for the Indian team.
220. Carlos?
I was saying 210.
All right. Puji, do you also want to give me a Sanju Samson score prediction? It keeps everyone interested.
Sanju Samson, just the individual score.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going with 30.
Off. Strike rates matter.
Okay, all right. 30 of 20?
30 of 20.
15 or 20. Yeah.
All right. Okay. We'll leave it there. Puji, Carlos, thank you so much for setting things up. These fine gentlemen will continue to be with us through the rest of the evening. Join us right after the end of India's innings. We'll be back then on ESPN Cricket Info Timeout.